Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust number 60, and today we will be doing battle with the Yordle Portal in arms. And so, if you're not current with the channel, we have qualified for seasonals. We've been spending the past week or so of videos getting ourselves prepared for the event, and we're looking to bring a lineup that is quite strong against both Yuumi Pantheon and Talia Ziggs. Those are two decks that I feel like will show up in mass, and oftentimes both within the same lineup. And so, that's what we're looking to take advantage of. We'll be playing the Yordles in Arms deck, which you're going to see here today, discard Draven, and then we'll also be playing Pirates. And so I feel like we've gotten really familiar with the Yordles in Arms deck. The only thing I haven't really given the time of day is the Yordle Portal. And so I'm wanting to give this a go before we get up to the event. I've seen various people in various lists where they're playing the Yordle Portal, and so I want to give it a try before we go. And so my kind of general idea and feeling with the Lulu decks and the Flame Chompers decks is you really want to maximize your ability to get the Flame Chompers Lulu on turn 3. Now, the way that we've been doing that is I usually play the full 3 copies of Scrap Heap. So if you have one of these draws to where you have the Boom Baboon on turn 2, Lulu on turn 3, you can still get that Flame Chompers on the board with Scrap Heap. And so I typically like to play the full 3 copies because I like to pull off that full combo. But if we're going to be fitting in cards like Yordle Portal to where we're not necessarily getting the full value out of the card in terms of mana, I don't feel like we can really stack up on too many of these effects. And so I don't want to play like 3 Scrap Heaps and 2 Portals. I don't want to just play like 1 Portal and never get the chance to try it. And so we're running out with this 2 and 2 split, right? We don't want to run into too many situations where it's like we play a Scrap Heap, that costs a mana, so we're down 1 and getting a unit. We play a Yordle Portal and have to take a 2-drop. It's just very easy for us to lose out on a bunch of mana by playing too many of these effects. And so that is the one card we've cut to get in here. I've also cut down on one Pharaoh's Fancier. Again, he's not like the most pure aggro unit that we play. We play him because he's decent early and good late, and he's a pretty good curve filler because it is disastrous if we don't have a 2-drop. But I kind of feel like the Yordle Portal fits in a little bit there in terms of filling out our 2-drops. You know, if we don't play something on turn 1, then we can still either burst out a Yordle on turn 2 or have the full 3 mana on turn 3 to burst a unit into play then. And so I feel like we're capable of pulling out one Fancier, but I do still like the top end that he presents. Otherwise, we are still playing the singular copy of Treasured Trash, and then we don't play Pokestick. In terms of both the matchups we look to be facing in seasonals, a lot of Yuumi Pantheon, a lot of Talia Ziggs. I don't like Pokestick in either of those matchups. And then just in general, I don't feel like we're enough of a just kind of like value generation dirtily kind of deck, and I don't really like it. And so I don't play the Pokesticks either. But otherwise, if you've been following the channel here recently, it should look very familiar to you outside of the additions of these 2 Yordle portals. And so that is that. Let's get this pulled up. We do have to pay the pay-to-win price on the Yordle portal today. This gem of a card hasn't been turned premium yet, but what a perfect target! Something that manifests and generates cards, so you get basically double premiums out of it. It's a pretty good deal, if you ask me. Pretty good deal. So that being that, let's jump on in. And so yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this deck. I will say I do intend to be playing the discard Draven in the next video. I've been kind of tooling around with playing Decimates and Noxus Blasts, and so that one will be a little bit different than you've been seeing in the past as well. And so hopefully that works out nicely for us. Okay, reasonable enough start here. We're up against the old Mono Shurima Sundisk, and this is actually where Yordles in Arms kind of came to fame, and that people weren't sure how to beat the Sundisk just clogging up the board, and this was a way to attack around it with the elusives. And so hopefully this will work to our favor today. This is like one of the decks that we used to really meta against in terms of Gauntlet, but the Sundisk has really kind of fallen out of favor since the 3.6 patch with the nerf to only advancing 9. All right, let's get in here and get these battles on. I don't think we're quite to this space. Like, one of the strategies we'll take against the Sun Disc deck is just not playing any cards, right? That gives us the opportunity to... they just, like, completely fill out their board and can't get stuff really happening. I don't feel like that's where we want to be here today. I'm actually going to look to do this where we play the Yordle Captain next turn. It should be bigger than all of his units, and then we can just burst out the Yordle Portal. But the Urchin's good to go here. That'll still let us have 3 mana going into the next turn. You can take the value hook onto the Urchin, but it's not good enough to give him the Sarcophagus. Cool. Leave it to me. All right, our first Yordle Portal ready to go. I'm just going to discard the Mystic Shot. It's not particularly good here. The Sun Disc deck just has like way too easy of a time completely filling out their board. And I don't think we're going to just be like Mystic Shotting Clocklings or anything. What do we got? Lots of interesting choices. The Cavalier will come down as a 2/2. The downside to him coming down as a 2/2 is he will be quite a good target for Quicksand, but like given this board, Quicksand's going to be good against everything that we have. I think we go with the Bandle City Mayor though. Just get that effect going to make things cheaper. We can fill out the board here relatively quickly. Shaped Stone. All right. Don't always see that one. I was expecting more of it's typically you just see like Quicksands, and so a little unfortunate, but we'll easily build up this board.
If it was important, they should have built it better.
Uh-oh. Here comes a big squad. We need to get the Boom Baboon down first so he can interact with the 5/3. So now his only like really good attack is with the Grumpy Rock Bear. Oh man, he's really lining this up like he has an additional shaped stone. I don't think we can get away from this. But okay, he wasn't able to completely boom us. Ooh, not just yet, Lulu. You can potentially be cheaper here. Not too interested in any of these. The Fey Folk is just way too slow. Don't really have needs for discards at this point. Let's just take the Hothead. It's going to be the biggest unit that we can get on board. Probably going to have to go with Lulu here, but let's see what we get out of this. This will be cheaper coming out of the if we take a multi-faction one, it'll still be cheaper. It's not. Let's just take Bouncer and Bolt so we have an additional challenger. Kind of regretting taking this Hothead. This would feel a little bit better if we had the 3/2 on the board from the previous turn. Oh my god, this feels like a quick upgrade on the Azir. But you got big spells. It's almost tempting Give It All. Both of these are kind of tempting with both the Give It All and the Glorious Evolution. Like, at least with this turn, we should be pretty safe with our units. Like, he's not going to play the removal spell that sacrifices a landmark, so he shouldn't be able to kill off Lulu. And we have a Lulu hook into the 5/4. But I don't think we're ever going to get to Glorious Evolution. Maybe we just take the Give It All. And then we can potentially use it with a Elusive on board. He does have a Lulu killer now, but oh man, that is pretty brutal actually. She's not gonna survive the day. So we clear out the board except for Azir, have a 2/2 left at the end of the day. Not super ideal, but he hasn't dropped a Zerath yet, so as long as we can roll around to our next turn, it might not be terrible. I'd say he most assuredly has the removal spell in hand if he's playing the Frozen Thrall. But I mean, he only had 2 cards left at the end of the turn. That's not a whole lot to battle with. And we can get away with playing the Flame Chompers here, right? We have 8 natural mana next turn, so as long as we get a 2 bank, we can still treasure trash. Very suspect attack with Azir. So this is just going to be a quicksand. Maybe we keep the fancier back and just take the 3. This is a super obvious quicksand with him. Oh, he's just giving up on the Azir. Wow. I did not expect that. Wow, I tell you. Makes sense. So he needs an Azir, or a Zerath to pop this Sundisk. I feel like we'll be watching the movie here real soon. Oh, is this a right in negation? Oh, fuck. That's so bad. Alright, well, this game's probably done. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh, did they finally fix it? Oh, ooh, wow. That's an update I didn't know that they had. To the best of my knowledge, you used to have to just sit around and watch the stupid fucking movie. You couldn't concede in the middle of it, and you were just locked in for 45 seconds. That must be new. I know I've certainly tried to concede in the middle of the movie and couldn't do it. Okay. Picked up the old Yordle portal again. I don't think we can hang on to the captain, but these others should be good enough to keep. Not bad. So many baboons. The boomest of baboons making an appearance. Is he gonna beam it? Is he really thinking about beaming this thing, or is he just AFK? Wow. That's aggressive. Okay. Let's just go ahead and get the baboon down. This is our worst unit, right? If he's going to play a fancier this turn, that's fine. If he's going to play a mystic shot, it's fine. But the bomber twins can eat a hit from a flashbang trap, so it's kind of nice to leave those for a little bit later. Okay. I don't want to just like run out the Lulu. She's going to get killed frequently. So let's just drop another baboon. We can urchin down a flame chompers. And then see how next turn goes. He didn't take the bait. It's okay though. I mean, if he's gonna do we just maybe we just skip on Lulu now? He doesn't have any dudes on the board. I like it. The Glingblade Lookout's somewhat tempting, but I don't think we really need the cost reduction at this point. Let's just take another Bomber Twins. This is the most aggressive option, and it puts another card in our hand. I think it's fine, especially if we hit like Preservarium. Star Tipped Peak is good. Just let us get a little bit more value. Sure. Lined up into what we're doing pretty well. But he doesn't get to add to the board here. We have a Get Excited if his next play's Caitlyn. Oh, geez, he does have a unit. Okay. No blocks. It's pretty tempting to just like scrap heap here and look for the biggest unit we can. We don't get like punished for playing scrap heap. If we scrap heap and don't like what we see, we can just not play it. But now things are a little different.
Here I am! Wherever here is. Here up! Nosy dewdrop.
Do we need to... Let's just take the 2. Well, it's like I don't care like a ton about him getting this mana. I do care about him being able to kill Lulu with a like a Mystic Shot or a 1 damage card. The chances of her surviving aren't great, but I think we should just at least still take the shot. More Bomber Twins? I mean, the Arena Kingpin's the best attacker, but if we can hit Preservariums and start tipped peaks and the like, it's quite strong.
Let me get you that fire. They've never seen a contraption like this before.
We could technically Minefield down the Archivist. I think we just have to accept that Lulu's done for this turn, though. Sure. 6 mana beam, that's pretty big.
Need clearance, pal.
Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and drop the peak. The countdown's a little slow, so if we're going to have to let it sit around for a bit, then let's get it going. All the Flame Chompers today. That's annoying. Oh, no, that's a disaster. That's a disaster. Fuck. I was thinking we were going to get to stun one of these Marauders, but I forgot the Archivist was bigger. Okay. What do we got? Let's take the expensive one. He's not even a good expensive one. I think we have to take Professor Von Meck. Ugh. Make some sad noises. Alright, well there's our path to recovery in the Yordles in arms. It's a little late. And I was trying to like envision scenarios to where the +3/+3 didn't really matter as much. This is most certainly a scenario, right? When we can't take down his Legion Marauders with our Flame Chompers. Kind of sucks a lot. Quite a bit of suck in there. Oh boy, now we just lose our Yordles in arms. Okay. That's interesting though. I like my thing with Yordles in arms has been like where the scenarios that come about to where the Yordles in arms isn't as good, right? Most the like obvious line that you see with Yordles in arms is you have the 2 Poros on the board and you have a Fizz. You play Yordles in arms, and now you're losing out on 3 damage, right? You used to hit for 16, now you hit for 13. It's relevant, but not relevant like all the time. But this is like the first situation I've seen as to where the Yordles in arms just doesn't like ace everything on the board. That's really strange, having that come to play. I mean, it's like a semi-relevant space as well. Like he did, play a card that gets generated by the Pharaoh's Fancier, and so you do come across it. It's not like people are playing Strength in Numbers and Constructed, but the Fancier does generate it, and those 4/4s are pretty relevant. That's actually interesting to see. All right, on to the next one. Good O2 start. It's not that bad. I'm curious how things play out. Like with our lineup, we'll always allow the Sun Disk to just hang out, but I wonder if like the scenarios ever arise to where we want and or need to ban out the Ezreal Caitlyn deck. It's an odd one. It's like it's one of those decks when you look at like the meta reports, it shows up as like the 3rd or the 4th most common deck. But on the flip side, it's like you just never see it. because the meta is so varied at this point. It's like you can't you can't meta around it because it's so small, such a small percentage of the format, I should say. All right, but interesting enough start here. I'm willing to just give up on this Fizz quickly. We'll see if they have the Vile Feast for him, but otherwise, I don't think we're going to just make these big, quick Lulu plays. It doesn't seem that spectacular. Well, things change. Things change. Sometimes the Flame Chompers just turn up. Ooh, Darkwater Scourge. I was going to say, like, the one that we would typically see and be worried about here would be Camaverin Soldier. But the Scourge is a lot more painful, especially if they have Death Mark. Death Mark's something we see, like, definitely have to worry about. Okay. Like, we can't just leave this on the board. We have to actually put the damage on it with the Flame Chompers. Otherwise... Oh man, he gets the full heal out of this as well. I haven't had to run into this dum-dum in forever. But where we're going is if he has the Death Mark and we don't put a shitload of damage on the Scourge, it's just going to take over the board. And so we have to be ready to Mystic Shot this thing. Blaze this stuff. Alright, have to block as well. If he has a Twin Disciplines, we have to make a decision if we want to play Get Excited or how we want to handle this. And so we can't just fall into a space to where we drop that... where we drop the Mystic Shot and then just fail at combat. Fairly weak Yordle Portal. It's like this is one of the big reasons I'm not super amped about it. I mean, the 2/3 is going to be the best option here, but I'm definitely not excited about spending 3 mana on a 2/3. Can't hit Bandle City Mayor every time, I guess. It'd be pretty sweet if you could. Okay. He's got a Vigio. All right, the big boy squad has arrived. He's only got 2 mana at this point. He hasn't sacrificed anything, right? Well, we could still, like... We should probably block the Hydrovine. I don't want it creating units on the open next turn. So the idea here is I'm going to put a block on Hydrovine, try and get 3 damage on it. We'll get excited down the Hydrovine, and then try and get an open, a big open next turn.
Well, this isn't the glade.
So the idea here is we'll just hook Vigio out to the right, and then just punch in as much damage as we can.
They won't like this.
GG. We won ourselves a game, fam. We did it. GG. Even with the bad Yordle portal, we still got through. It's like... that was, like, decent in that it did get us that burst attacker down. But I'm not entirely certain that that's an effect I'd have rather had than Scrap Heap. I mean, I guess it would have been better than a Fancier there, but... And that's not a deck I ever expect to ever see. So, whoa, what is this guy doing? Oh, it's the Feel the Rush deck with denies in it. It's a little scary in terms of our Yordles and arms, but we'll manage. We'll manage. want to get my baboon down. It's like really tempting to just go for the scrap heap here. Because it's like Vile Feasts are just so good on this board, and being able to hit like just a 3-2 off of the scrap heap is pretty nice, but it's not going to be happening. Drawing a ton of burn. What do we got? I like the Climber here. They shouldn't have like too many great early blockers for it. The good ones that they would have are going to be like 3/3s, so it does survive them. But I guess the question that comes up here is like, how often do we get into the next turn with our Bandle City Mayor still alive, right? If he plays an Avalanche here, that's pretty abysmal. If he doesn't have the Avalanche, then it's pretty good. I like Smash and Dash in these spaces as well. But, I mean, with the Dunehopper mech, it feels like we're going to get into the next turn. And so hopefully we can just, like, keep our Mayor alive and get our big boys on board. I'm going to go for it. It's been gone for, fam. It's been gone for. It's just like if you had Avalanche, you would have opened with it, right? All right. Well, the big squad is coming down. How do we feel about this next turn? We're like most certainly going to flame chomp into one of these sentries. But do we want to go with like the big boys first? I think we just burst a Yordle portal here. He does get the big block onto the Dunehopper mech, but then we just chunk in tons of damage. Second Bandle City Mayor. Ooh. Oh, a snooze bottom, you say? That's a big old chunk of damage. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's just bring out... Okay, so the summon doesn't get additional cards. So we want... We're at 5. We can still do the Flame Chompers and hook one of these. And then we've got the 6 and then the 2 little guys. Okay, that's pretty close to lethal. He's going to block a 6 and prevent most of it, but that's a pretty healthy chunk of damage coming in, especially when we have the 2 Mystic Shots in hand. Trevor Snooze Bottom. Who puts that on your radar or what's coming out? Just getting the serious booms in there. Okay. Opponent will be at range for the 8-drop, the AoE 8-drop, which is kind of painful. Is that what's about to come at us? Okay, we can fill out our board. I think it's fine. The thing that would be a problem here is if he has the Ruination. But let's get the Yordle Captain down. It plays fantastically with the Dunehopper mech. Then if he has the Ruination, we aren't devastated. Let's see what he does. Like, if he has a second AoE, it's pretty good. And we're just not going to Poro Cannon now. Okay. Okay. See if we get a burst play with the Yordle portal here. Feels like we're so close, yet so far away. Ooh. He's gonna let us come in, huh? Stone Stackers does the most damage. I think this is where they usually play like flash freezes on you. Bill of Ionia, sure. So if he drops a They Who Endure, then we're in a pretty bad spot. If he banks up 3, that would be a Feel the Rush next turn. I don't think Feel the Rush kills us. Trundle won't be flipped, and so he would only have the one big Overwhelm unit. Okay. Then the one we'd have to watch out for now is Atrocity, but we can't play around Atrocity. I think we have to drop the Treasured Trash. And then just hope for the best. Maybe we'll hit something cool. Something expensive. What's that? Thrumming Swarm? Fancier, pull sharks and stuff? Not super ideal. Rite of Calling. That doesn't do anything, right? Nah. Could dig up a Fizz. Sharkling. No thanks. We'll play the Caretaker and the Fancier. Again, probably dead. Really good chance we just get hit with Atrocity next turn. Oh no, he can't play Atrocity, right? He's not playing Shadow Isles, so maybe we are kind of okay. We do just get like domed by a Vengeance, but is what it is. Hidden Pathways isn't going to draw anything. Like, drawing stuff out of our deck doesn't feel exciting. Let's see if we spike something ridiculous with the Anomaly. What's this? Store all allied units that died or were destroyed this round. That's not going to do it. But do we get any value out of adding units to the board? Like, I just have to imagine, like, 95% of the time we attack with Thrumming Swarm, and then it gets hit by like a Homecoming or a Will of Ionia, Flash Freeze, something. Like, it's not ending the game here. One troll to rule them all.
Here I am, wherever here is.
We get to chunk in this 2 damage, though. If we send the Swarm into the Ice Pillar. Like, oh, Mina. Is that? Oh, I guess I should have been aware of that. Good job. So again, that's one of the matchups that's fairly terrible. I feel like if we had to play it, like if we played a lineup that was playing it in Gauntlet, that the rest of our decks could probably carry a little bit better. It's one of those matchups to where I don't feel like we ever need to really ban it. I feel pretty decent about it, in that they're not playing Shadow Isles, and I don't think that they want to play against our deck twice. I feel like their likelihood to stumble and have issues is much higher than ours. All right, let's get started.
Hang on. We're rolling.
Go with the Bomber Twins. Has the most health. We already have a Flame Chompers if we need something to discard, but I don't want this just dying to, random 1 attack unit or a red card.
Yup, that tasted purple.
That tasted purple. Need a discard. Yeah, it's kind of awkward. We'll get a Flame Chompers down this turn. It's just going to take forever to do it. Is this going to be a Twisted Fate? It's like gold card is not awesome, but it's not terrible. feel like he's pondering the Twisted Fate. Oh. Monster Harpoon onto Lulu. Okay. So how much do we want to care about this stuff, right? We have a Mystic Shot. We could Mystic Shot the Powder Monkey. Or we could just not attack. Rockfall Path is kind of interesting. Maybe this is where we go. It's going to hit the Monkey Idol on our next turn. And since we're going first, it'll hit the idol before it gets to generate the unit. So we shouldn't have to deal with the Powder Monkey on our next attack. Man, this is why I'm talking about really loving all the scrap heaps and everything. Having this tripled up hand is pretty sucky. Triple Flame Chompers with no way to discard. All right. I don't think we can give them the opportunity to play stuff. Let's just hit. It's probably gonna. It's like doesn't have great blocks anywhere. Okay. Out of the way. You got it. Yeah, KDA noises. You want the tenor? Have we played a created card this game? We still just have the dum-dum sitting in our hand, right? let's take the Feyfolk. He's going to be good for an open. Sure. Is this Gangplank flipped? Let's see. He's not playing Gangplank. He's playing... I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. Sure. What's our Fizz at? 0 spells? Pretty good. It's a good number of spells. I think I'm just going to go ahead and try and pop off this Twisted Fate. He can't play another one. If he has to spend mana to protect it or whatever, that's completely fine. Pilfered Goods is fine. We shouldn't have too many cards in our deck that are good next turn. Like he can play burn spells and take down some units, but I think we're pretty safe. It's a good one to pick up. Fill out the board. Ooh, he discards the Yordles in arms, huh? Wow, 3 blockers. Not bad. Not bad. Coming straight out of the old deck. Just going to give Fizz elusive so he doesn't die here. We don't get the Poros, but that's fine. It just feels like this game is not anywhere close to being a winner. I feel like things are about to go poorly. All the cards out of our deck. A Mystic Shot, a Get Excited. He's down to 3. Like, if he's trying to do stuff with Twisted Fate, I don't think he can recover too easily. But stop the lethal. What do we got? Yordle's in arms. Okay. Like he just plays red card for the plunder. Okay. Not entirely sure what these cards do. Let's just not die here. I don't want to give up the Feyfolk. We can give up Fizz, though. He's not going to flip, and we can still fill out our board. Okay. It's only got one card. I think we did it against this deck. Not sure what's happening here. Not sure how I feel about this matchup being such a struggle, but feels like we might have done it. Okay. The downside to having to test on the ladder. I can't imagine we play against the Twisted Fate deck in the seasonals. Oh man, that does remind me. So I had a situation today. As you may or may not know, I'm well educated. I have a master's degree. I've mastered science. I'm an engineer and stuff. So this morning, my wife says, hey, Bust, I'm late for work. I need you to go and water the plants. So I'm like, all right, I can handle that. But then she follows up, I know you don't know how to do it, but I would like you to do it. I would appreciate it. And I'm like, whoa. You don't think I know how to water plants? Let me walk through how challenging this is. You get the hose and you spray water on shit. You don't think I'm capable of watering plants. Fucking great. All right then. Try my best. I can't wait to hear later how I did it wrong. That's what's gonna that's what's really gonna blow my mind. We can say, Bust, here's everything you did wrong watering the plants. You got the hose out good, you turned the water on, you sprayed the shit out of those things, but you did it wrong. Sorry they didn't teach me how to water plants when I was busy mastering science. But I did it. I'm pretty sure I was successful. Those plants got all kinds of water on them. All right, anyways, what are we getting back to here? This is one of these spots to where, like, I want to Mystic Shot this Merciless Hunter. We can still add Fizz to the board, but I was hoping to get to, like, make a burst play with Lulu. We can, like, just let this happen and then burst out the other Flame Chompers next turn if we're willing to just let this thing die. I think that's okay. So if he just passes, that's okay as well. We still have the burst potential. But it's like, do we even really want to bother? Just giving up the Flame Chompers here. We can play just a Mystic Shot, but I guess we're running out of opportunities for that thing to be good. When I'm supported, give me 0-3. That's just not relevant, right? So if Lulu supports this thing for the +1 attack, yeah, I don't really care about that. But the rest of these cards all suck. So I think we're stuck just picking up the Caretaker anyways. That's maximum damage, right? We grow our smaller units. Then we get to support onto the Flame Chompers. Still get a kill on the Merciless Hunter. If he has a Shape Stone, they don't play Shape Stone in Vigios. They could have, I guess the argument there would be that they could have Quicksand. Quicksand would be slightly awkward. Okay, maybe he should have waited till next turn for Fizz. Like, if he gets popped with the Vile Feast, that kind of sucks. But I think that was okay. So we're going to Mystic Shot the Merciless Hunter. We do have a blocker for Vigio. Don't have anything really for Treasure Seeker, but I think that's okay. I mean, we can throw a Zara Night Urchin in front of him. Okay. So now we do have an interesting set of supports. I think we have to open here, right? Just adding a single unit and having him add a unit isn't that good. Isn't that good for us, I should say. And so it's like I'm kind of tempted to do it like this. If we flip Lulu, like Lulu's the one that he wants to block, then we can boost our weakest unit again. Get an attack like this. And so now that says you either have to put Vigio in front of Lulu or put the little dum-dum in front of her, and then she gets to survive for another turn. I think that's okay. If he doesn't open on her next turn, we can protect her with the picks. Oh.
Got a lizard and a shark.
Interesting. He really throws it in front of Lulu.
You cannot stop me. You matter so little.
You just not have a vengeance. It's weird that he would like line up the Vigio and then play the vengeance later. So strange. Sure. So we hit for 5. Still got some duders on board. He's out of mana, so he's not going to be doing too much this turn. How close is he to flipping? Is it 7? It will be at 9 once the encroaching mist dies.
Hello. Anyone want to join my party?
Are you ready? Let's take it for a
All right,
spin.
let's get these stats on board while we can. Don't have to worry about the ruination. Get Excited's interesting. It's tough to decide if we'd rather send that to Vigio or just send it to Face. Got to wait and see what they do. It's a big disaster if you try and get Excited this Vigio and then he has like Glimpse Beyond to protect him. Has he seen these? He's seen this one here on the left.
Welcome to the team.
Okay, so he's got 8 power of ephemerals, and then the Sandstone Charger will die and make another one. I'm not. Okay, yeah, he's definitely. This Vigio is definitely flipping this turn. Right, he's at 11. This is 13 on board. So if he's going to grow up to 9. Oh, he just flipped in the combat. He's going to be at 10 for next turn. So that's going to drop us to 12. That gets us out of an atrocity. Okay. Then he's going to... Let's see, steal our strongest. He's going to steal the Yordle captain. All right, we got to chunk in 2 damage. I believe in you, deck. Yeah, this Fizz is ready for action. Come on, deck. Come on. Come on. We got him. Got him to 3. That's all we need. Might have done it. Might have done it. Let's give him a chance to spend some mana. I'd really prefer him not Vile Feast out of this, but you know, kind of is what it is. There we go. There we go. That's not a right of negation. All right. Catch him back up. We did it. This is interesting. I've been like reasonably happy with these Yordle portals. Just having that burst aspect is so nice. Now, this is a deck that we're just gonna ban over and over again. Like, this is unfortunately a deck I expect to show up quite a bit. I'm just kind of hoping that a lot of the people bringing this or also bringing like Yumi Pantheons and Talia Ziggs. There's a lot of overlap and like the lineups that are playing this deck, and but this is not a good one for any of our decks. Oh, they play Pokey Stick, so let's get the Bomber Twins down. Okay. All right. I think we'll be in decent enough shape to drop a Lulu. If we have to trade Lulu for a the Fairy Lantern, whatever the 3/3 is that makes shit cheap, I'm happy enough to do that. Yep. He's going to get tons of value out of this thing. Yep, he has the combo. Let's see if he's got that dragon. Alright, so it still counts for his next one, right? He can still play an Owlcat for free. This sucks so much. This kind of is what it is. The only way that this is like super bad is if he has a dragon in hand. I think we need to just do it like this. Let's just go ahead and Mystic Shot the Librarian. God, that's so bad. If he has a... Has to be a Pale Cascade, right? Let's see. We need something to go right here. This is going extremely poorly. And if this doesn't work, we're really going to suffer. Still feel like he's just going to, like, dragon up the Commando. But we can at least deal with this. Right? We didn't have a way to deal with some of these other problems. So he'll get this. He'll get a Dum-Dum on board. He's got lots of blockers for our board, which is painful, but we can at least take down the Commando. And he didn't play one of his free units. Interesting. Are any of you good? Not really. Not really. We need a 3-attack one that'll still trade with these lanterns. Takes 9. That's decent for us. We're getting close to lethals at this point. We might be able to sneak enough in. Need 1 more point of damage. That's a pretty dangerous no block. Helios, sure. Well, we don't have answers to that. This is gonna be our crusher. He's going to be able to put the... he's going to open Papercraft Dragon onto a Phelios and then put a Lifesteal onto him. Well, maybe he'll do it in the wrong order. Also want to try and dig for another burn spell. Just for the Lifesteal out to the right. Okay. Can't do anything about it. Let's take a shot at another draw. We can also block this thing and then get excited our own unit. Okay, so that's a little short, but he is going to have to spend a ton of mana on... Oh, he just doesn't play the dragon. Interesting. Like, if he goes to 8, we're never winning this game, right? He's going to have a completely full board. So let's see. We need to do this. Get you out of here. I still want to be able to get a Poro on the board this turn. Oh, no, 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 no. There we go. Almost hit the wrong unit. So I don't think that we're going to be able to get this one, right? He can very easily... fill out the board. Probably not going to deal any damage, but this is our shot. This is our chance. Or we could draw double Mystic Shot. That would be another way to go about it, but... Yordles and Arms would be okay. We got to clear out his board. Get excited. Yeah, it takes an additional card. Okay. So close, man. Our plan was there with the daring Poro and drawing the burn spell. So close. So close. Sure. Yep. Alright, well, there's nothing we can draw here. Oh, man. It's like such a poor matchup, too. It's nice to have that come closely. But I do suspect that's got to be like our most banned matchup. Like, even as we see decks like if we have to run into, say, like a lineup that has the Lulu Fizz and then a like ramp, then we could still leave the ramp deck. It's not as great, but I feel a little bit better running against it. And Draven Scion is a positive matchup against it, and so I still feel like pretty okay if they leave up Draven Scion in terms of what's happening there. But I think the Draven Scion matchup might actually be positive against the Aphelios, but not quite sure that that's true. All right, up against Zed Katarina. Definitely hanging on to Mystic Shot against a Zed deck. I think we can just full keep this whole hand. We're going to be on the odd attacks, and so we do have some opportunities to get this Flame Chompers down. Our first Yordles... No, it's our second Yordles in Arms. We had the big discussion about him earlier. It's kind of tempting to pass, but I think like if he plays Zed next turn, it's still pretty okay for us. Whoa, elusives. Is that what that is? We haven't seen these things in ages. All right, what do we got? Probably just want to take the expensive one. We want the Hot Head as opposed to the Tornado Warrior. Seems good. Get these damages in. We're going to have plenty of Flame Chompers this game, so it's easy enough to throw these away. Okay. Trevor. So much shenanigans. What happens if we let him attack? Like, I mean, there's no reason to add a Boom Baboon at this point, right? We can go ahead and Mystic Shot. This should do some things, right? If he has to play a Twin Disciplines now, it should hopefully limit him in being able to add new units to the board. And then otherwise, we just get the kill, right? Or if he has to play Deny, Nopify, ugh, Sharpened Resolve. That's shitty. We dead? 12. Oh, I guess we're just dead. Oh, yep. GG. That was the thing, I guess. Okie dokie. Well, I mean, we tried. We played our burn spell and it wasn't successful. I guess that would be an argument for playing the additional pokey sticks, but kind of is what it is. It's not a deck I expect to run into too much. And so, successful on a lot of fronts. I did actually really like the Yordle Portal. And so I'm pretty sure I'm going to keep it in here. I'm kind of leaning towards, at least the way I'm looking at this now, is I like the 2 Yordle Portals, and then I think I'm going to take out the Pharaoh's Fancier and just add in the 3rd copy of Fizz. And that's going to get us to where we want to be. Like, my thing with Scrap Heap is it can kind of like count as that top end that we're looking for, and we're not really looking to have these games go super late. And so I think that's probably what we're going to see as our kind of final list. is I'm going to take this fancier out, and then I'm going to add in the third copy of Fizz. I'm going to keep the 2 Yordle portals. I did like it. I could see an argument for only playing 1, but it worked out pretty nicely today. And it is like when we were experimenting with Yordles and Arms a while ago, and we were trying Spirit Mirror, Spirit Function, Spirit Thing, the thing that it's the burst speed discard, give your team +1/+1. We were pretty happy with it in terms of just bursting it into play, right? Where we saw the most success here with the Yordle portal was these games to where we just burst the unit onto the board and then made a big open attack. And so they're similar in those ways. It's just that the Yordle portal feels more conservative. But I do like in terms of there's a lot of just value cards to hit in there as well. And so I think we're going to keep that. I'm actually pretty happy that we came out and tried it. Again, the downside to a lot of this is, you will run into off-meta decks in something like Seasonals, but like we're not going to run into the Trevor Snooze bottom deck. We're not going to run into whatever that Plunder, Yumi, Twisted Fate thing was. And so it's always unfortunate that I'm limited in the amount of time that I have to play the game, right? I'm not a full-time streamer. I am in no way a video game esports professional. And so my time is limited, and it sucks when I have to just play against stuff like that because it's just not going to be relevant. And so it's kind of like a double whammy for me in that I don't have a limited time to test, and then when I do have time to test, I have to run into some stuff like that. But we'll still make the best of it. We'll try the best we can. I feel like I'm pretty locked in with liking this and liking a lot of the concepts here, and then I'm just going to take that fancier out for the Fizz and be pretty happy with this one. And so I'm pretty locked in with the Pirates. I think I'm pretty locked in with this now as to what I want to do. In tomorrow's video, you're going to see us play Draven Scion with Noxus Blast and with Decimates, and I'm pretty sure that's the route I'm going to want to take with that one as well. I haven't been super happy with Captain Farron these days, and so he's going to go, and then there's a couple of other cuts in there that we're making to kind of get these last bits of reach card into our deck. But, we're getting there. Things are going well. I'm happy with how these have gone. We haven't had super successful rounds in terms of win rate, but a lot of our games have been against things we just plan to ban, and then they've also been against things that we just won't see. And so it's a little unfortunate that our testing is only useful for about half of the time, but we do still get to test out this Yordle portal. I'm glad we got to try this out today because we're definitely going to play it in Seasonals. But nonetheless, that is going to do it for us today. Hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned how to enter the portal a little bit better. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.